Right, there was a lot of demand for this one and I promised I would do it. It is time to test the homemade disc wheel cover. Yep, this disc wheel here is in fact a homemade creation by myself. And I've put it onto a set of Envy 5.6 wheels, which I know are a fairly plush set of wheels, but I guess this is the kind of scenario that a lot of people find themselves in. They invest a lot of money into a good set of versatile wheels that work well for a number of races, but the thought of investing a lot of money into an additional wheel, a disc wheel for that occasional race is just that step too far. I mean, disc wheels are not cheap things. So there are a number of companies out there that make these disc wheel covers that come in at a fraction of the cost, somewhere within 50 to 100 pounds, rather than the hundreds or thousands of pounds that you might spend on a disc wheel. But I thought, why buy one when you can make one? Or at least that's what I thought anyway. So I had a lot of fun making this, and I have actually done a step-by-step guide on how to make your own, and you can watch that by clicking on the link on the screen right now. But do make sure you come back to watch this test, because today I'm going to be doing a number of tests to find out whether this does really work. So the first and most obvious is a TT. I'm going to do two different TTs actually, a flat TT, and because I'm so impressed how light this thing is, I'm going to do a Hilly TT as well. And then I guess we should do some quality control testing. So I'm going to put it through its paces over some rough terrain and maybe throw some water in the mix too. But in case it does all fall apart, let's start with the TTs. Okay, so I've got a nice flat 5K stretch here ahead of me. I'm going to start off non-disc to set the time for both the runs. All right, let's do this. Let's go. That was fun, that was painful, but now time to get that disc wheel on. Okay, now that's both tests done on the flat TT. I've had a chance to check over the times. So for the non-disc, I went 5 minutes and 22 seconds. With the disc, I went 5 minutes and 15 seconds. So 7 seconds quicker over a flat 5 kilometer course. So actually quite a big portion of time for such a short time trial. Now, if I actually project that over 180K distance for an Ironman, for instance, that would be 4 minutes and 12 seconds, which is pretty huge, but you've got to take into account the fact that this was a perfectly flat TT, so that could differentiate ever so slightly if you throw some hills in there, which we're going to go and check out in a minute. Okay, this next one, it's a bit of a silly one really, but disc wheels do get a fair amount of stick for being a bit heavier and therefore not so good over hilly courses. But this homemade disc wheel is literally made out of 1mm ABS plastic, so it's really not that heavy. In fact, without the disc, it weighs 1.39 kilograms. And with the disc, just 2.1 kilograms. Yeah, it really is a fair amount lighter than most disc wheels. So how does it fare over a hilly course? Well, right now I'm heading on over to a pretty cheeky hill that I know of around here, just a couple of kilometers down the road from that flat TT. It's only 0.7 kilometers long, or 0.8 kilometers long, sorry, and it's got an average grade of 7.7%, but it does kick up to a staggering 30% towards the end. Yeah, welcome to Bath. Now, I'm going to be starting off non-disc wheel. I'm going to try and hold 350 watts up the climb. Might have to push on a little bit as it kicks up towards the end. Then I'm going to replicate exactly the same effort on the disc wheel. Yeah, that was tough. Now time to put the disc wheel on. Same again. Okay, so that is both Hilly TTs done there. I've got the times. Without the disc, it was a time of 2 minutes and 31 seconds. And then with the disc, 2 minutes and 32 seconds. So literally 1 second in it, which I'm not all that surprised with really, because the disc is adding such little weight to the wheel. But if you are a bit of a weight weenie, and maybe you've got a super hilly course coming up or some extended long climbs, a lot longer than my 0.8 kilometer climb there, then it may be something you might want to consider. But I'd say personally, the amount that you're gaining on the flat, which we proved in the previous TT, versus how much you're losing on the hill, it's a no-brainer really. That was really interesting anyway, but now we need to check the build quality of the wheel, because I know a few of you are a little bit skeptical as to how well it's made and how well it will last. So time for some quality control testing. Okay, now for some quality control, I am going to send this bike and the disc wheel through some potholes, which pains me saying that, but I guess these things happen, you can't always avoid them. So whilst I'm not looking forward to this, here we go. It's just so unnatural. Actually pointing it toward the potholes. One more big one. Let's have a little look at him. Pretty solid. No tape coming off. Still nice and firm. Quality control done. Now to get it wet, I guess. That's the next test. Conveniently, I do have a nice jug of water here. So it's very dry here today, but I'm going to chuck all this over here. Get it on both sides just to make sure. Right, let's give this a little ride and see how it holds out. See you in a mo. Well, it has survived to tell the tale. All the tape here is still intact. Got to say, I'm pretty happy with my little homemade creation here. Obviously, it's not going to rival a full disc wheel production model, but it's not bad really for under £30. If you would like to make your own, don't forget you can watch the video for that, a little step-by-step guide by clicking just down here. And if you did like today's video, please do hit that thumbs up button. And don't forget you can watch all our other videos at GTN by just clicking on the globe and subscribing to the channel.